Hey guys, Mishi Mavros here. Today I wanted to talk about something that you guys have kind of been asking me to make a video about, but I just kind of always felt like I shouldn't really make a video about it just because I never really experienced it too much before. And I felt like it would be ingenuine if I were to talk about something, to do with my mental illness that wasn't really something that I felt. But guess what? I'm experiencing it now. So, having like these feelings of numbness or not really feeling enough at all is such a strange occurrence for me personally, because I have borderline personality disorder, and I've just always thought of it as like an intensity of emotions. And I'm always either extremely happy or extremely mad or extremely depressed or extremely stressed out, or it's never like, oh, how are you doing? Like, I'm chill. Like, yeah, I'll tell people that, but inside I've never really felt like whatever, not whatever, but just not anything extreme. That's always been kind of like my go-to, and I've always kind of, I guess, maybe not found it comfortable, but it's just something that I'm used to experiencing. I know that inevitably, even when I'm extremely depressed, that I might hopefully experience another bout of happiness, which I do. And unfortunately, when I am extremely happy and manic and just loving life, I'm like, I can't wait for the other shoe to drop. Like, I'm always just waiting for the depression to come back. Or when I'm extremely angry, it's just anger, built up. So it's really strange for me to not really feel any of those things. And I am going through a lot of major changes in my life, and that's why I find it so strange that right now I'm not feeling anything, and I feel like I should be feeling something. So it is a really kind of scary place to be at, and it sounds very bad, but I've always kind of thought as feeling numb to be a good thing. Like, when I was extremely depressed, I'm like, why can't I just not feel anything? I feel so awful inside that I just wish that, I could just not have to feel this anymore. And, when I'm extremely angry, I'm like, why do I have to be so angry? Why can't I just be like, whatever about anything? Or just feel like, anything that happens is like, whatever. But it's not a good feeling. And, it is very, very serious. And, feeling nothing can be worse than feeling everything, which I've now learned. Because, I don't know, I guess it's like a comfort zone, like my brain and my body has always given me a direction in which to go, whether it be positive or negative. At least, I had that kind of direction. And like, I know there's so many things kind of coming up, and things are going to change, but I want to feel a certain type of way about it. I want to be able to, think about something, but I'm kind of just, that's the hardest part too, is like, I can't explain, you can't really explain nothing. Like, how does one describe nothingness? That's the whole point, is like, there's a lack of anything. So how do you explain absolutely nothing? It's just, it's, it's weird. Like, yes, I still have thoughts. Yes, I still, understand that I have experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, but I've never really experienced nothing at all. And I mean, I'm sure that I have experienced it in small doses, but just the feeling of not knowing when this is going to end, not really knowing like what to do next, it is a very, very scary feeling. And for borderlines, I feel like it is a natural defense mechanism. It is one of the core criteria in the DSM, for people with BPD to eventually experience that numbness or emptiness. And just, feeling empty is, it's not good. Again, it's just so hard to explain. That's like the hardest part. How can you talk to someone and share your feelings when you don't really know what they are, or when there isn't any? It's an enigma for sure. And I know that, eventually it'll pass. But again, when you have borderline personality disorder, we can't see anything than what is immediately in front of us. We can't be like, I feel like crap, but in a couple of days, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be happy. Like, we can tell ourselves that, but do we really feel it? I can't successfully tell myself that I'm going to get past this and genuinely believe it, because what I feel in this moment is all that I can you know, figure out it's all consuming. So I just never expected nothingness to be all consuming, because it's kind of like it's an opposite. How does nothingness consume you if there's nothing there? It's very strange, and that can also lead to like the feelings of boredom. I feel bored oftentimes, but at least there's always like a secondary, you know, like thing to go off of. You know, like I feel bored and I'm like, well, at least I have this to look forward to, or at least, you know, I'm gonna be going out and doing something, or, you know, I'm like dreading something, or I'm overthinking something. You know, I think our brains kind of force us to be always thinking about something, which is definitely a bad thing. Like, you know, if you're constantly overthinking negative things, then that's gonna in turn make you obviously think about those negative things and dwell on that, and then we dwell and then we fester either that hatred, that anger, or that depression. And it's weird to not have any of that. And I feel like it is not talked about enough. You know, when you have borderline personality disorder, you're seen as this fucking like crazy, but like passionate, like emotional, like there's always something like extreme, you know, like, yes, I'm so happy, or oh my god, like I can't go on, like I'm depressed, or like fuck you, I'm so fucking angry, you know. So it's weird to, you know, I definitely feel like I'm even being passionate about feeling empty, but it's just like it's nothing. Like I wish I could just cry it out, or I wish I could just, you know, be pissed off at someone, or be angry, or something, or, you know, look forward to something, because I know I have things to look forward to, but it's not as easy as just telling yourself that. So, you know, it's also, I mean, it is a very negative thing to try to find someone to be able to like fuel your emotions, you know, like looking for someone to blame for a situation. It's obviously, it's not a good thing, because we need to look inside of ourselves and realize why the problem happened in the first place, and realize what we were doing in that situation, so that we can grow from it, and not constantly, you know, victimize ourselves, or, you know, try and demonize someone else. Although there may be something that is completely negative that's out of our control, it's definitely a good thing to be looking at ourselves and our own emotions, and self-reflecting and self-criticizing. It's beneficial, and just being mindful of what we're feeling at that moment. But when there's kind of like, I don't know, there's just nothing to really reflect, because it's just a point of in between. Like, if one thing is ending and another thing is about to begin, like, what do you do in the meantime? You know, it's like it's being stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like that in between, like, I feel like I'm in like purgatory or something, you know. It's very difficult. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to find better words to express it. You know, I wish that I could explain it better, but I guess that's the whole point of feeling empty in the first place. It's probably one of the harder things to cope with, and probably one of the harder things to treat, because again, we can't express it. We can't really share what's going on when we don't know for ourselves, and we're not able to move on from that. It's very difficult. So sorry, I don't know. I understand now why a lot of people with BPD have that, because I think our brain is just so exhausted from feeling things all the time, and sometimes our brain just kind of like, I feel like, shuts down and just kind of tells us, okay, like things are too traumatic right now, you know, there's nothing really left to feel. And, you know, I hope that shed a little bit of light on it, or, you know, even if, you know, you have felt this as well before, and it just makes you feel less alone. Like, I know that you guys have experienced basically anything I'm feeling, so thank you guys so much, and I'll be back with another video. Bye.